All right, hey everybody, Joe with the Gym Life Podcast. We are at the Clash on the Coast. This is the finals here today, and they are over with. We're going to talk more about that later, but in the meantime, this is the guy I've been catching up with all weekend. I couldn't wait to have a conversation with him. He is what I would consider next generation 105er in the sport, providing he can stay that light forever, which I highly doubt it. John Alimo, how you doing, man?
Good. How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, it's a pleasure, and finally good to meet you too. Because you know what, there's some names that start to resonate through the strongman community. From afar, and we start hearing these murmurings of different characters, and you're one of those guys for sure.
Thank you, man.
And even prior to your Clash jersey, of course, which that's how you qualified to get here.
Yes.
But talk about an up-and-comer in the 105 class. What does it mean to you to be at Clash on the Coast? You're arguably your rookie season, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a huge honor, definitely. Just very blessed and very humbled to be here amongst everybody else. It's really surreal, and it really even hasn't hit me yet. Where I am, coming here. It was tough for me to process. Okay, I'm here. I'm doing this. I'm competing tomorrow. It's a weird feeling. It is, but I think once the dust settles and everything, I'll kind of reflect on everything. And
I talked about it leading up to this show that there's a crop of guys in this show. It's their first opportunity to compete here.
Yeah.
And unlike other shows that you've been a part of, now that you've done this Clash thing once, would you argue that getting that first Clash under your belt's so important before you have your second opportunity to see how things kind of operate and roll out?
100%. They told me coming in here, they're make sure you're 250 when you go to bed.
Yeah.
I was why? They're you're going to need it. The heat is crazy. And warming up yesterday, I come back inside after warm-ups, I'm yo, I'm shot.
Yeah.
That heat was something else,
Right.
I'm from the East Coast.
Right.
New York. So we only get that a little bit. I don't even really train outside that much, so it was definitely a shock at first. So yeah, coming back, if I get the chance to come back next year, gonna make sure to keep that in consideration, stay hydrated, be prepared for that better.
Now, you didn't make it to the finals on the second day. No disappointment. You were out by a half a point.
Yep.
And that's a tough way to be out, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what's worse, being out by a half a point or just getting your ass kicked and not even having a shot at it,
Probably the second one, honestly.
Yeah, seriously.
It stings.
It stings a little bit, but it kind of keeps things in perspective for you because you know exactly where you're at amongst these giants in the 105 class right now. I mean, you're at the peripheral. You're at the edge of the pool, man, ready to dive in with arguably some of the greatest 105ers in the world that were out there today.
Definitely.
And I think we can all argue that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's nice to know that. But at the same time, it keeps me humble because I know I'm not there yet, but I'm striving to be there. So really all I have to do is go back home and get to work, improve on what I need to improve on.
What does get to work mean for you now? I mean, you kind of going to take the rest of the year off? You going to OSG? What do you got in mind?
So I'm going to take a nice long off season. I don't want to say chill out, but, just bring the intensity down in training. I want to work on becoming a better athlete, building up my work capacity, getting my conditioning up a little bit. And then if everything goes well, I'm probably going to do OSG online qualifier.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Hopefully that goes well, and then it'll be full send for OSG in September.
Well, it's funny, man. When you get to this level so quick, and we can argue that any one of you guys out there that were here for Clash on the Coast, honestly, there's nowhere to go but up. I mean, what do you really do, right? I mean, OSG's got to be on that list.
Yeah.
Because Clash on the Coast is the competition, and then America's Strongest Man is the competition at this point.
Yeah.
Whether you're ready for it or not, you've kind of made your bed, and you made it here, so you kind of have to go in that direction, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, me and Garrett were actually talking about that earlier. We're well, no disrespect, but I'm not really going to go to a local show or anything, you know what I'm saying? It's good maybe every once in a while to just get your feet wet with competition, maybe if you get a little bit of stale, as the year goes on. But, I think it's important to kind of keep moving forward and continue to test yourself against the best guys in the world because, I mean, really, that's the ultimate goal, right?
Well, certainly it's not an ego challenge anymore.
Yeah.
If it was, you'd be killing everybody in all the local comps and call it nothing. But, I mean, it's good to hear that because that's when you're at this level, that's not what it's all about anymore. I mean, you can take a backseat all day long to guys like Clayton, Hughes, and McKeegan who won tonight.
Yep.
But ultimately, to kick everybody's ass that's not ready to be here, that's just no fun anymore.
Yeah. Definitely not.
But you'll support the local comps nonetheless.
Of course.
Yeah. Maybe go and do a record breaker or something crazy like that.
Yeah,
or compete as a super heavyweight like a lot of you guys
Yeah.
would do coming from this class and moving on.
Well, that might be coming sooner than later for me, right?
I have no doubt about it, bro. Your biggest problem is going to be keeping the weight off, not putting it on.
Yeah, it's tough.
Especially at your age and how big and thick you are right now.
Yeah.
But, I was talking to your dad earlier. I'd say he's your number one supporter, bro.
Yeah, my dad's the best.
I mean, you guys told me that story about buying those kegs. And
Yes.
tell that story right now.
So, obviously, we had a keg throw for Clash over here. And it was super hard to find kegs to throw from where I am. Just not very common in any gyms, any strongman gyms anyway. So I had to buy my own quarter kegs. And they only sold them full. And bought 6 quarter kegs full of beer.
$700.
$700. And it's funny because the guy who sold them to me, he's like, you could get 3 full ones for the same amount of beer, right? And I go, yeah, but I'm not drinking the beer. So he's like, all right. He didn't even want to ask any other questions. And, just drilled a hole in the bottom of the keg.
Shame on you.
Out into
Nobody
the
wants to hear that.
Yeah. And,
listen to that. We were all expecting this story where you and your dad just sat back, drank all the beer one night, and decided to throw the kegs the next day.
But it worked because I won the keg throw in my heat.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
oh,
so
perfect then. All right. Can't argue that success in it all. I don't think anybody has ever gone to that length to get kegs. Maybe a keg, but 7 kegs?
6 kegs.
Fucking crazy. Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, your dad's a great guy, man.
Thank you,
we were
man.
sitting there
Thank
chatting
you.
about
Yeah.
you, and I see that he lives vicariously through you a little bit.
Yeah.
As the guy, as his boy that's out there really getting the job done. And I know he's super proud of you. I mean, does he travel everywhere with you for these competitions?
We go everywhere together. Normally, it's our whole family, actually. My mom and my sister, and those two, they're also...
You only have 2 people other than you and your dad in your family?
Yeah.
Are you guys even Italian, man?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
That's the one uncommon thing about us. We got a small bunch, a couple cousins here and there, but it's really me, my sister, my mom, and my dad. And without all 3 of those, I mean, I can't do what I do.
Right.
I mean, just the support and the love that they give me, because, let's be honest, the stuff that we do is
right.
It's hard to
unconventional
do on your own,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, your dad was telling me sometimes he'll pay buddies to come in just to help you with the plates and shit, so you can get through a training session without killing yourself loading your own stuff up. So isn't that crazy? I mean, good for your dad, man. Honestly, if there was an award for Strongman Dad of the Year, I think your dad would be the guy. Honest to God.
So the last week before we came here was our deload week.
Yeah.
I was beat up, doing the whole block of training.
Yeah.
And so was he, but for different reasons, just from loading the weights.
Yeah, he was.
So I said, this is my deload week. I said, it's also your deload week too.
That's right.
This is your week to
enjoy yourselves a little bit. Yeah. Eat some food. Well, maybe not you, but pretty close.
Yeah.
Was there a big weight cut for you?
No, this weight cut was great. It was good. So I got here on Wednesday. I was probably 236.
Yeah.
So I ate a little bit the morning of Wednesday. I had a shake and a small breakfast, and then traveled all day. Got here, had another protein shake, and just called it. Went to bed. No sweating, anything.
Oh, great. Yeah, easy work then. Easy work for sure.
That's ideally how I would always like to keep it going forward.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I work with a great nutritionist. His name is Max McCall.
Max McCall.
Yeah, over from Australia. He's
okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we really. That's one of the things that we work on is not having to kill myself doing a big weight cut. And
right.
I personally believe in that. I think that's a big.
Oh yeah. I mean, there are only so many guys that are good at it, and I think the rest it takes away from the performance for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
It's the way I look at it is kind of pros and cons, right? So pros being doing a big weight cut is that if you rebound the right way, you might come here 255, 260, which is a huge advantage, right? But what if you don't?
Right.
So the cons of not doing a big weight cut is I had an easy weigh-in, but also morning of the competition, I was 242.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's you kind of have to pick your battles with that.
Well, and you better be ready to perform in both conditions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the hard part too, I think, because ultimately you don't practice weight cutting. It's you get what you get and you deal with it.
Yeah.
What was your biggest moment from Clash? Your first Clash here yesterday.
This year, my biggest moment from Clash, I would say the arm over arm.
Yeah.
I think so.
Did you win that event in your heat?
No, I didn't win.
You pulled that fucking thing fast.
I came third.
I think it was within a half a second for 3 of you guys.
Yeah. So second and first was separated by, like you said, about a half a second. But it was the last event of the day for me. I had basically clawed my way back in every single event. I just stealing a point here, stealing a point here, stealing a point here.
Yeah.
So I got to the point where I needed a really good performance on the truck pull.
Yeah.
I had can I show the camera? I had two torn hands, so I tore both my calluses.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Bleeding from there.
Yeah.
And I was like, should I wear gloves? Or I asked like a couple people like Johnny, Laws.
Yeah.
Like, should I wear gloves or should I go bearskin? They're like, go bearskin.
Yeah.
20 seconds
Go
of pain.
with what you know.
Like,
20 seconds pain. Yeah.
So I just manned up and I pulled the crap out of that rope really, really fast. And listen, I gave it everything I could. I was proud of it. I was happy with it.
It's a dig deep moment, man.
Yeah,
it really is.
definitely
No, you're right about
sure.
that. Under those circumstances,
Yeah.
Don't question it. I guarantee you now, moving forward, there'll be zero questioning yourself when it comes to how you need to do it.
Yeah.
You do it just like you did it in practice, despite the circumstances.
100%.
Yeah, and you did that out there. Yeah. I mean, you represented well, man. I think ultimately your future's as bright as anybody's out there in strongman right now. And I'll say it over and over again. We got a unique crop of young people coming up. How old are you?
24 years
24. You haven't started growing yet, bro.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
That's what they say.
Yeah, and you're already in Clash at the Coast and
Thank
competing
you,
against these juggernauts of your Clash and our class in class and Clash. And, listen, I can't wait to do more with you in the future.
Yeah, man, I'm excited.
Because, I'm a big fan already.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, and we're going to stay in touch. And I want
course.
to, someday I'm going to get out to an East Coast show.
Okay.
And whether you're competing or not, you and your dad just got to come and hang out.
Come, for sure.
Yeah, and you guys can take me out.
If you're ever in New York, you want to train, go out to dinner, whatever.
That's a great reason to come to New York, bro. Yeah, absolutely.
And I've been a fan of this show for a while.
I appreciate that.
So.
That makes 5 of you. I appreciate that. Bug with
I'm
it.
happy to be
Hey,
here.
thanks, John. I
Thank you,
appreciate
man.
it, man. All right, have a good one.